Hello YouTube, Aerosmith here today and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a video on my thoughts on BFA. I've seen a lot of YouTubers do this, so I was like, why not just join the party and express my thoughts, because some people have actually asked me on what my thoughts are. This is just all based, of course, on my opinion, and obviously there will be just my thoughts on it, and someone might be complaining and stuff, but this is just what I think after playing this game nonstop for ever since Classic has been out. I've never taken a break, ever. Um, and that's it. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. So I'll go over PvE first. In Legion, I was mostly on the PvE side. I'm not really a huge PvEer. I'm 100% honest. I'm mostly PvP in this game. It's pretty much almost all I do. In Legion, I wasn't really excited about PvP. I just didn't really care for it. But I guess if I had to compare it to BFA at the moment, there's a few things I do enjoy about the PvP and BFA and Legion BFA PvP, but I'll cover that later because I said I was going to be PvE first. But yeah, I was a huge PvEer in Legion because I did it more. I pretty much lived in Antorus. I did it so many times I never want to see that place ever again. And I enjoyed Mythic Plus. I even did plus 15s. In BFA, I have not even done normal or heroic like I did in Legion. I've never done Mythic, so I'm not gonna say anything about that. But I have not done even LFR in BFA like I did in Legion either. So PVE to me, Mythic Plus, I feel like it's a lot harder than Legion. I think a lot of people agree with me probably on that. They've upped the difficulty because I used to, like I said, do 15s each week in Legion. And in BFA, I did probably like a +5, and most of the groups just kind of fall apart. At least the pugs. I know people are probably gonna say run with friends, but it just doesn't seem worth the frustration to me, so I don't really run it. So that's just one thing that's been a downfall for me for PvE wise. It's just that Mythic Plus has been a lot harder, and it's just not worth the frustration, so I don't do it. I'm not really 100% sure why I ran, I guess, Antor's and stuff in Legion, but I seem to enjoy it, so I did it. In BFA, I just don't find the motivation to do raiding. I guess it's just because there's no, like, class stuff, there's no good transmogs. There's just really nothing worth running raiding for me, so I just had personally no interest in it. Island Expeditions are probably the most boring thing ever. When I first did BFA beta, I ran them and I thought this could be fun for PvP. I mean, I enjoyed the PvP aspect of it, and then now that I'm really like into it's only like what a few months into BFA, I don't want to do an island expedition ever. It's the most boring thing ever. You just go a place all over and it's not fun. So Warfronts, when I first did it in the beta, I thought it was okay. I thought it was pretty fun, but I was lost. I honestly didn't know what I was doing. And then now coming to today, it's literally boring, and a lot of people seem to feel the same way. At every group I get in, there's so many people that either AFK and make it just dreadfully even more longer than it needs to be, or which I don't really necessarily blame them. I don't AFK, but it's just not really all that fun. And I feel like if it was more kind of like a PvP type of thing, it might have been more fun. But that's just me personally. I kind of wish they had a PvP mode for it. So obviously the PvEers can do what they want to do and have some fun in that, if they even have fun in there. But yeah, guys, that's just my thoughts on PvE. So let's move to PvP. Like I said in my previous statement, I've played this game nonstop. I've never taken a break from WoW, ever. Even in Warlords, where a lot of people hate it. Even when I didn't really care for Legion, I still played it. Um, every expansion pack, I feel like, since Mists of Pandaria has gone a little bit downhill. That's just me personally. Like, here's my thoughts. Classic, I enjoyed Classic as it was new, fresh game. It was fun. Will I play Classic Demo? Probably. I mean, not Demo, but Classic Game when it comes out. Because Classic Demo was just recently, so I said Demo. But I'll probably play it. I don't know if I'll play it full time. I might. It just depends. I know a lot of people are gonna play Classic. I think it's just gonna be one of those things like where it's really hyped up for a very, very long time, and for probably a few months, and then it might die down a little bit. It's still probably gonna be a good game. Don't get me wrong. I'll still obviously play it, but I think it's just gonna be one of those things. I'm excited for Classic, so don't get me wrong. I liked Classic. Um, I love Classic because of the just the newness. So really enjoyed that. Burning Crusade was a lot of fun. Had fun in world PvP. Battlegrounds were fun. Just overall had fun that expansion. Wintergrass and Wrath of the Lich King was my favorite thing to do. I always loved it when the Alliance won because I was Horde back then, and I would go on top of the orb in Wintergrass, and on my Fire Mage I would Living Bomb, and you'd be seeing so many numbers on the screen with all like two bunch of 40-man raids or 25-man raids. I don't remember. 40-mans were classic, obviously, but there was like two full raid groups, and I would just love AoEing everybody down. That's just part of the fun for me as World PvP, just as much as Battlegrounds. So I loved Wrath of the Lich King because of that. Cataclysm, I don't really have too much memories of that. All I remember much is Tolbarad. I love, like I said, World PvP. World PvP is a huge thing for me, so I love World PvP. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. So that's all I remember for Cataclysm. It's hard to really remember Cataclysm. I don't know why, because I can remember Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King a little bit well, but Classic I don't really remember too much. I played throughout the entire thing, but the only memories I have of that was of Orgrimmar and Crossroads and all that, so I can't really remember everything. I can't really remember much of Cataclysm either. Mists of Pandaria was probably my favorite expansion pack, and after that is Wrath of the Lich King. So those are the two my favorite, personally, favorite expansion packs. The reason why it is because of a few things. The Battleground queues were long in Mists of Pandaria. I mean, I know that for sure. I remember those days back then. But I did have Timeless Isle back then. Timeless Isle was like my favorite thing in Mists of Pandaria. I loved Timeless Isle. It was like my favorite thing in the game to do. You would go there, you could even kill your own faction if you wanted to, just for laughs, and get so much rage whispers in chat. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I would highly recommend when the Time Walking for Mists of Pandaria comes out, just to go have some relive memories in Timeless Isle. I mean, it's really a lot of fun. So that was also when I believe I think the vendors always existed, if I remember right, but that was like when they created the Prideful Vendor gear, which boosts your item level up to the Mythic players, Siege of Orgrimmar, for example's level. And that was what I loved about PvP, because once you were done with the Prideful set, you were pretty much done. You were done. That's what I loved about just being done with it. It was the same thing in Warlords of Draenor. I liked Warlords of Draenor. Personally, I know not a lot of people did for specific PvE probably reasons, but PvP wise, I felt like it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun because simply the fact I was one of the few rare people that liked Ashrun. I liked to go off and do my own thing. I liked going and popping my burst cooldowns and wiping raids with the orb with the Ashrun. It was a lot of fun doing that. Um, and having the PvP gear scale up again to Mythic Raiders level. World PvP in the jungle was a lot of fun. It just overall, these are the reasons why I like PvP, because I'll put it like this: PvP gear scaling up like the Prideful gear, and all the other Warlords of Draenor gear scaling up. That is what I feel like PvP should have. So that's just me personally. After that, Legion, it just wasn't really as fun. I'll tell you the reason why I didn't like Legion. Legion had templates. My issue wasn't necessarily with the templates. My issue with Legion in general was Battlegrounds destroyed like pretty much half the fun. I'm not talking about specifically one shots or anything like with the gear like we have right now, or you could destroy people with gear again. It's the fact that toys and items specifically were disabled. You couldn't even use AV specific items. Like literally, it says AV. You can only use an AV. I clicked it. This item has been disabled. Like what kind of crap is that? It's stupid. So that's the reason why Legion kind of pissed me off, is because I had all these fun items, like harmless items like toys I could use, which I can use right now because templates are gone. like the shard where it turns you into a statue. You couldn't even use that. So that's pretty much the main reason why I didn't like Legion, was simply due to the fact of that reason. I do kind of like picking my stats again too. That also is kind of a huge thing. Now let's get into the reason why I don't like BFA. Because now that I've told you about all the reasons why I like past expansions. The reason why I don't like BFA is one of them is a huge one that a lot of people I know don't like. Class design. Not all classes are bad. I do enjoy certain classes. I know some people like their class right now. Keep in mind this is also my opinion, but if I had to pick at least one example right now, which I think the class is designed pretty terribly, it'd probably be Windwalker Monk. Windwalker Monk is kind of like a very, very crappy design right now. Most of their damage is through their cooldowns, like Touch of Death and Karma. So it's just not really a good design, in my opinion. Another one is, we all know Frost DK is not in a good spot right now, at least PvP wise. I don't know about PvE, but PvP wise. So yeah, class design, my opinion, not really that great right now. So I'm not really too excited about it. I do like my Druid, so I could say I like, for example, I like my Boomkin's playstyle at least a little bit right now. Um, some other ones I'm okay on, but yeah, for the most part, like I said, class design. I'm trying to keep this as brief as possible. I'm trying not to ramble on, but I'm just want to give you guys like full detail why I don't like the expansion. Second is, like I said in the earlier videos on what I liked about previous expansions, is the gear. If they had just added PvP vendors that were similar to like Warlords slash the final patch of Pandaria, I feel like this expansion pack would be good. It would be pretty decent for the most part, because you could pick your items and stuff. So if they just brought back Conquest gear, not this kind of gear where you're filling up the bar and blah blah blah, but I feel like if they let you pick your gear and it scales up to mythic item level gear like Pandaria and Warlords. I mean, yes, you can do rated stuff, but there's some people that just don't like rated stuff, and Arena isn't really necessarily, I think, thriving right now. I think Arena has been dying for a while now, and not a lot of people do rated battlegrounds, so I know a lot of people do more so random stuff. So, I mean, yes, I know scaling is an effect, so gear doesn't really matter as much. I know about that, so you guys don't have to let me know, but if they just brought that back, it would be, I feel like it would be so much better. It would be so much better. And that's just, it's just my thoughts. So, um, I feel like if they added a little bit more new PvP content for new people, that would be pretty nice. So, like they did in Pandaria, they added more battlegrounds. I know we have Seething Shore, not a lot of people like that. But it just would be nice for some more new battlegrounds. Or just bring back Wintergrass and Ashran and Tolbarad. So I'd be happy with that. I'd take that. I know Wintergrass is coming back. So there's that. Another thing I don't like about this expansion pack PvP wise is war mode at the moment. It is kind of depressing. War mode was a really, really neat idea when it first came out. But as many of you know, I've tried to make war mode videos. We all know the Alliance is outnumbered right now. I'm not going to deny that. But it's kind of depressing. It really is. I've been wanting to fight some world PvP people, but in Legion we have the towers. And you could go to a tower and just farm your faction if you wanted to, because there's an item kind of similar to the Timeless Isle where you could do that, and I made videos on that. Or you could camp in the Alliance Tower and just knock people off or kill them, which is what I did in Legion. In BFA, we don't have any of those. We don't have anywhere to find any fights at. I mean, you can go to World Quest, but let's be realistic here. The Horde are camping the World Quest. I've seen like 2 40-man Alliance raids do it, but apparently it's an Alliance guild that does that. I ran into them the other day. They camped like, I was just watching for at least like 4 hours just for laughs because I was that bored of the game. But yeah, they were camping the place for about 4 hours. There were some people that are trying to get groups, but they could just never wipe them. So other than that time, I rarely find Alliance, and if I do, they just get jumped on. So there's no point in giving a video if they're, I don't know, like a 1v6. It's just it's not fun. It's not even fun for me. So anyways, guys, I think that pretty much expresses my thoughts on BFA. Let me know what you guys think of this. I'm kind of sad. I mean, I'm kind of sad. Actually, there's one more thing I want to say. Azerite armor. I personally think the Legion artifact weapons were better, personally. The Azerite armor is not interesting. We all know it's making stack tracking completely stupid. We all know how, for example, rogue stacking traits was, Ret Paladins to stack the traits, Feral Ferocious by stacking traits, and if you don't stack them, your class sucks. It gets gimped. Or if you stack them and you get over nerfed. It's just I don't like the Azerite system. That's another huge letdown for BFA for me. Everything else has actually been better than that. So even Legion's artifact weapons, which actually added even abilities even too. That's it, guys. Hope you guys got the answers you were looking for. Let me know if you agree with me, you disagree with me. This is just a video I wanted to do since everybody else has been expressing their thoughts. I tried to not make this a whole like an hour-long video, but yeah. I'm just gonna leave it at that. See you guys later.